Hey everyone and welcome back. Today, I want to talk about a book that absolutely blew my mind and I truly believe has the power to transform how we think about love and relationships. It's called Getting the Love You Want by Harvo Hendricks and Helen Luckily Hunt. Now, you might be thinking, oh, another relationship book, but trust me, this isn't your typical 5 tips for a happier marriage kind of read. This book dives deep into the why behind our romantic struggles, offering profound insights and practical tools that feel less like therapy and more like uncovering a hidden truth about ourselves. I picked it up because, like many of us, I've often wondered why love can start with such magic, only to morph into something, well, less magical, sometimes even painful. And what I found in these pages was truly eye-opening. So what's this book all about? At its heart, Getting the Love You Want proposes a revolutionary idea. Our intimate relationships have a hidden unconscious purpose to heal our childhood wounds and help us become whole again. Pretty profound, right? It's not just about finding the one to make us happy, it's about finding the one who, ironically, can help us confront the very pain we experienced growing up, so we can finally resolve it. Let's start at the beginning, with that initial spark, that mysterious pull we feel towards someone. We often think attraction is about looks, intelligence, or shared interests, and while those play a role, the authors say there's something far deeper at play, something governed by what they call our old brain. This ancient primal part of our brain, focused on survival, isn't very logical. It doesn't grasp linear time, so past hurts feel like present threats. What it does brilliantly is create an internal blueprint, a composite image of our primary caretakers, parents, siblings, nannies, taking note of all their traits, both good and bad. This blueprint is called our imago, and here's the kicker: we unconsciously seek out partners who match this imago, especially those who carry the negative traits of our childhood caregivers. Why? Because our old brain is trying to recreate the conditions of our upbringing. Not to suffer again, but to finally resolve that unfinished business. Think about it, didn't we all start out as perfectly whole, joyful beings? The book talks about this original wholeness we experience as infants, a sense of oneness with the universe, like a primitive spirituality. But as we grew, we were all wounded to some degree by our caretakers' neglect or intrusiveness. To cope, we repress parts of ourselves, our lost self, and create a false self to navigate the world. We even deny our negative traits, creating a disowned self. So when we fall in love, that initial romantic love eros, that ecstatic feeling where colors are brighter and food tastes better, is our old brain believing it has finally found the gratifying object to heal all these old wounds. It's an illusion, a beautiful projection where we see our partner as our savior, embodying all the positive traits of our imago and our repressed lost self. It feels like we've found our missing half, like Plato's mythical creatures, but then, inevitably, comes the power struggle. That magical illusion shatters. Why? Because our partner isn't a surrogate parent designed solely to meet our needs. Those very traits that once seemed so desirable, perhaps their quiet nature or their impulsiveness, now become incredibly annoying. They start triggering our old wounds, making us feel anxious, neglected, or controlled, just like in childhood. And what do we do when we're hurt or scared? We lash out, criticize, blame, or withdraw. The authors call these our weapons of love, which are essentially adult versions of an infant's cry. The louder you scream, the faster they came. It's a painful cycle because deep down, our old brain believes if our needs aren't met, we might literally die. So, is there a way out of this labyrinth of confusion, as the book calls it? Absolutely. This is where the concept of a conscious partnership comes in. It's about bringing our new brain, the logical, conscious part that makes choices, to the table and forging an alliance with our old brain's instinctual drives. It means realizing that our relationship's purpose is growth and healing. The authors argue that this journey requires intentional effort, discipline, and courage. It's not just about finding the right partner, but being the right partner. But isn't that incredibly hard? Like, aren't we just hardwired to repeat these patterns? That's a great question, and the book addresses it head-on. There's a natural fear of change, a resistance to stepping outside our familiar, even if dysfunctional, routines. It's like the story of Moses and the Israelites, yearning for the promised land but trembling at the Red Sea, or fearing the giants, our inner fears in the new territory. But the beautiful paradox the book reveals is that by intentionally focusing on healing your partner, You paradoxically begin to heal yourself. When you stretch to meet their needs, you reclaim those lost parts of yourself that were shut down in childhood. The book then gives us incredible practical tools to do this. A foundational step is commitment, not just staying together, but consciously committing to the therapeutic process, which creates the essential element of safety. Without safety, you can't be vulnerable. This means narrowing your exit, stopping all those subtle or not so subtle ways we avoid our partners, like constant work, hobbies, or even excessive time with kids, anything that drains energy from the relationship. When you close those escape routes, you force yourself to engage, which, initially uncomfortable, eventually fosters deeper connection. Then come the exercises designed to build that zone of safety. The rear mistaking exercise, for example, asks you to deliberately perform caring behaviors for your partner, the kind of things you did effortlessly when you were first in love. Even if you have to grit your teeth at first, the repetition actually rewires your brain to see your partner as a source of pleasure and safety again. They even introduce surprise lists and fun lists to keep things fresh and joyful, because sheer play deepens the emotional bond. But the true cornerstone of this therapy, the most effective tool for healing rupture connection, is the imago dialogue. It's a structured way of talking that at first feels incredibly artificial, but it's designed to override our old brain's defensive reactions and help us truly hear each other. It has 3 steps. 1. Mirroring. This means listening intently, paraphrasing what your partner says without adding your own spin, and asking, is that what you mean? Or is there more? It's about letting your partner know you've accurately received their message. Honoring their unique reality. It's shockingly powerful just to be fully heard. 2. Validation. Once you've mirrored, you then strive to see the logic in your partner's perspective. Even if you don't agree with it, it's saying, you make sense. I can see why you would think that way. This is critical for lowering defenses and acknowledging that there are 2 realities, both valid. 3. Empathy. The final, deepest step is to connect with the feelings behind your partner's words. I can imagine you must be feeling angry, sad, threatened, when you can genuinely feel with your partner, especially when it's a painful emotion you might have triggered. It creates profound emotional closeness and healing. The authors emphasize inner responsibility too, meaning the person speaking uses I statements and focuses on behavior, not character, to make their message easier to receive. Through this dialogue, you also learn to define your curriculum for growth using the behavior change request dialogue. Instead of just complaining you always forget my birthday, you identify the underlying wish, I want to feel important and remembered, because my father often forgot about my events as a child, and turn it into a specific positive smart request for the next 3 months. I'd like you to give me a special present on my birthday that you've bought and wrapped yourself, and look me in the eye 3 times and say, you're the most important person in my life. When your partner then stretches to meet this need, they're not just doing you a favor, they are growing in an area where they were previously limited, reclaiming a part of their own lost self. The book culminates with the idea of creating a sacred space by eliminating all negativity. This means stopping criticism, blame, condescension, even negative thoughts towards your partner. It sounds impossible, but the authors explain that negativity, even when directed outward, creates stress hormones in both people and reinforces harmful neural pathways. They replace the idea of ending anger with the holding exercise, where one partner holds the other like a child, listening to their childhood pain and sadness, fostering deep empathy, and allowing for the release of repressed emotions without the toxic cycle of anger. This intentional removal of negativity floods the relationship with goodwill and allows for true positive flooding, where you actively express appreciation for your partner's positive traits and behaviors. So, does it actually work? The authors share compelling stories, like Ed and Greg and Kenneth and Grace, who transformed decades of struggle into deeply satisfying conscious partnerships. These couples, despite their unique challenges, used the Imago tools to move beyond conflict, develop empathy, and intentionally heal their childhood wounds together. It's a testament to the fact that while the journey might be long, it leads to a profound sense of failure, a mature love between equals, a deep, spontaneous friendship. This is a love that transcends the initial illusion of romance and the bitterness of the power struggle. becoming a conscious choice to cherish and support each other's growth. This book completely shifted my perspective. It made me realize that marriage isn't a static state, but a dynamic psychological and spiritual journey. It's not about being magically rescued by a perfect partner, but about becoming an active participant in your own healing and your partner's. And the beautiful thing is, by focusing on giving, you actually receive exactly what you need. If you're looking for a way to move beyond frustration and into a deeper, more fulfilling connection in your intimate relationships, I can't recommend getting the love you want enough. It's an investment, yes, but an investment in the most important relationship you have, the one that ultimately helps you become your most whole loving self.